only going to be two-story buildings. However, page 52 and page 49, you have three-story buildings. The flats, and I'm curious how that is actually in keeping.
Sorry, I didn't see.
Sorry, and I've got a few more questions as well. How much higher is that than reason? Why are you putting affordable housing someplace else? That's my big question. Are these people too good to have people who can't afford to buy houses in the same things as they are? Or is there any particular reason for this?
That's a matter for the council officers and the developer. The requirement is that the developer contributes towards affordable housing. Strategically, sometimes the council wants that on site. Other times they might want the money for affordable housing for other projects elsewhere in the borough.
And
35 houses per hectare, so it's well below that, which may partly reflect the nature of the site. Any other members wishing to speak? Well,
just a couple for you, actually. Further to the site visit, the buffer at the front that borders the old working
decision or a strong recommendation, because, as you so rightly pointed out, if we refuse this without a good reason that the inspector agrees with, because I'm sure the applicant will go to appeal, everything's taken away from us. We have no control over the development at all. So I'd just like Clare's input on that, please.
Through you, Chairman, yes, officers are satisfied that the scheme is acceptable and that all the normal requirements are met as set out in the Borough Design Guide. So there is a very clear recommendation of approval.
okay. I've got a few questions. Right, and finally I just ask, does any member of the planning committee want to propose an alternative to the officer recommendation for approval of this application? And I see no one indicating. In that case, we'll take this to the vote. Members who visited the site, this application has been considered and, I guess, refined over the last 60 weeks. It's been with the council for over a year. We have what the officers, professional planning officers, are recommending clear approval on this. It is policy compliant. It is an allocated site. Members, could you please indicate that you're willing to support the officer's recommendation tonight? And that is unanimously carried, so that application is approved. Could I ask those people that are here for this application to leave, because we have about 70 or 80 people for another application, which is our next item on our agenda. Thank you very much. Good evening. Sorry, it's a bit of a squash. But we dispatched the first agenda item as quickly as we could because we became aware there was a big group of people coming for this one. First question is, did you hear my introduction to how the planning committee works in the other room, or would you like me to spend a minute reiterating that? You didn't hear it? You did hear it or didn't?
It was quiet.
It was quiet, okay, I'll just try and summarise the key bits. The planning committee is quasi-judicial. We have set process and procedures which we'd ask you to comply with. People are registered in advance to speak. This is not a public meeting. It's a public meeting in terms of you being able to see what goes on. It's not a public meeting in terms of having everybody.
Chairman, I don't think we as planning officers are qualified to make that technical argument, and I think that again, it's something for.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
It's something as planning officers.
So I think what we'd ask is, I think we could ask for an informative.
Can I just?
Yeah, okay. Sure. We have a number of speakers. Firstly, Councillor Roger Marshall, Finchester Parish Council. Good evening, Roger. Would you like to come and address the committee?
Mr. Chairman, would it be possible for the residents to speak first?
Yes, of course.
Just with their presentation.
Yep, fine. So we've got Mr. Guest and Mrs. Adams, who are presumably the immediate neighbours each side, are you?
We are.
Okay. So when you're ready to start, you press the grey button. We'll all be able to hear what you say. I assume you've already been told you have 3 minutes to get your key points. Thank you.
Thank you to the Chairman and Committee for allowing me to speak this evening. Firstly, we would like to make it clear that we are not against the redevelopment of the site at Pine Plat. However, as the plan currently stands, we have the following concerns which we would like the committee to take into consideration when deciding to approve or reject the planning proposal. Point 1. The sheer scale, bulk and height of the building against the adjacent properties. This is effectively a ground floor with 2 stories above into the loft conversion. Point 2. If built, the property will be in front of the property line. Point 3. The application lacks detail of sewage and drainage. Point 4. The impact on road surface water drainage. Point 5. The property will be out of keeping with the street scene and countryside setting. Point 6. The application contains insufficient detail on material, boundaries, landscaping and rainwater drainage. Whilst the Council have requested further detail, this will be post-planning approval and we will not be consulted. Slide 2. This picture of Heath Ride was taken a couple of weeks ago. The arrow indicates the low point in the road. The road's surface water drained 0.1 square metres, i.e. it's 238% bigger than the existing property.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roger?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. First, I'll start with offering apologies for Rob Stanton. Rob was going to be here tonight to speak against this development, but unfortunately he's still ill and he's feeling better today, but still unable to leave his house. So he's asked me to actually speak on his behalf, although I didn't need 6
It's very confusing because he's asked me to read something out on his behalf. I'm not going to. I'll see what you have to say, but it's different.
Does anything short, so
Don't embrace it.
But I'm primarily speaking on behalf of the Parish Council, Finchanters Parish Council. When we considered this initially, there were a number of reasons we felt that it was inappropriate. They've been very well presented, I think, already by the residents' presentation, but it seemed to us that the bulk, size and massing of this development was disproportionate to the size of the site and the nature and character of the houses on either side. It was out of keeping with, not perhaps Heath Ride in general, because as you've already indicated, there are a variety of
5.1 square metres, i.e. it's 238% bigger than the existing property.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roger?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. First, I'll start with offering apologies for Rob Stanton. Rob was going to be here tonight to speak against this development, but unfortunately he's still ill and he's feeling better today, but still unable to leave his house. So he's asked me to actually speak on his behalf, although I didn't need 6
It's very confusing because he's asked me to read something out on his behalf. I'm not going to. I'll see what you have to say, but it's different.
does anything short, so
Don't embrace it.
But I'm primarily speaking on behalf of the Parish Council, Finchanters Parish Council. When we considered this initially, there were a number of reasons we felt that it was inappropriate. They've been very well presented, I think, already by the residents' presentation, but it seemed to us that the bulk, size and massing of this development was disproportionate to the size of the site and the nature and character of the house.
5.1 square metres, i.e. it's 238% bigger than the existing property.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roger?
Chairman, members of the committee. First, I'll start with offering apologies for Rob Stanton. Rob was going to be here tonight to speak against this development, but unfortunately he's still ill and he's feeling better today, but still unable to leave his house. So he's asked me to actually speak on his behalf, although I didn't need
It's very confusing because he's asked me to read something out on his behalf. I'm not going to. I'll see what you have to say, but it's different.
Don't think racist.
But I'm primarily speaking on behalf of the Parish Council, Finchanters Parish Council. When we considered this initially, there were a number of reasons we felt that it was inappropriate. They've been very well presented, I think, already by the residents' presentation, but it seemed to us that the bulk, size and massing of this development was disproportionate to the size of the site and the nature and character of the houses on either side. It was out of keeping with, not perhaps Heath Ride in general, because as you've already indicated, there are a variety of different architectural styles, sizes of houses and so on along the lane.